something crazy like that every time. Stel, you've been very placid. Look, I think everyone's right. I think the players, I think the manager, I think everything was just diabolical today. What do you make of it, mate?
I've got so much to say. Right, I'm going to try and squeeze it all in. I've got loads. Right, I'll try and squeeze it in and keep it brief. First of all, I just want to say I'm going to repeat this every show until people are sick of it. I'm not getting excited this season, and I'm not getting angry. I expect nothing this year. That's why I've been saying after we beat Arsenal, the PSG performance beating City, chill, because I know these performances are always going to come. And I'm not going to get angry when they come because I expect them, right? So for me, it's what I expected. That's the first thing. That's why I'm just chilled with it. I've said I'm going to give Frank a year. He gets a year. And at the end of the year, I'll tell you what I really think about this manager, this board, and what direction we're going in. All right, that's what I'm going to do. But as we go along, I'll tell you what I think step by step. So today, I put it down to 4.
Can you tell them all to smash the like button first, just quickly, Stel? There's 1,000 in here and 150 likes.
Yeah, if you want to hear what I say, smash the like.
Cheers.
That means everyone's just unsubscribed. Right. Look, four things, and I'm going to go for it briefly. I won't go too in depth. Number one, I know fans hate it. I know fans despise it, and I know fans are sick of hearing it. But I'm not going to have someone who protects Levy tell me that I'm a miserable so-and-so. He better come on Monday's show with a smile on his face and lots of positive energy after that, right? We'll see who's miserable on Monday. This is why I always call out the board. We are so far off a squad capable of being elite, winning Premier Leagues, Champions League. The board have signed some really good players this window. One of them we haven't even seen, by the way, and I agree with Sava. Simmons is a baller, man. And people will see. It might take him a bit of time. I did a video today called Breaking News. Got like 5,000 views on the Spurs 5. I broke down coach's analysis of this player we've signed. He is going to be top, right? The board have signed good players. But we need fucking lot more than that. A lot more than that. The board haven't done enough. They haven't. Simple as that. They haven't done enough for years. That's the first thing. Levy. The second thing. The fans need to relax. The way we get gassed up, it's like we don't learn anything from the past. We beat Arsenal pre-season. Okay, it's pre-season. Look at the performance against PSG. Mate, PSG were asleep for 65 minutes. Once they woke up, they beat us. Oh, look at us against Man City. We always beat Man City. We are Man City's kryptonite. They hate us. They hate Tottenham. The way we hate Chelsea, what they do to us, we always beat City. It happens.
We are their Chelsea.
And everyone gets so hyped up about Chelsea. It. And when we beat them, I said, guys, we always beat City. We're brilliant when we play City. City shit the bed. Right. And I think fans, the way they big up, oh, the Bert's good. What does he fucking do? He beats a man, he cuts in, he cuts out. No assists, no goals. Mate, 30 million Mateus Tell.
Oh. Lubo's Mateus Tell, by the way. Lubo's.
Listen, Lubo.
No, I haven't actually.
One minute. Let me get it off my chest.
I'll just mugging you off, Lubo.
I'm just talking about the fans, the way we... the way we gas things up. Mateus Tell played 20 games for Spurs last season. 20. 2 goals, 1 assist. So we said, yeah, there's 35 million. We'll have him. It's insane. I had Everton coaches messaging me saying, Stel, have you signed that Tell? I said, yeah. Why? I don't know. Everton coaches. Guys, we have so overinflated. Bergville came on. Shall I tell you what he did? He raised the intensity. That was it. He just raised the intensity. He didn't create. Didn't cut them open. He raised the intensity. That was it. This team is average. It's an average squad. It needs massive overhaul. And the fans just jump on any positive thing as if it's the final product. Like, yeah, this is it. We've arrived. Richarlison's back. No, he's not. He's fucking awful.
I hate that so far I can't disagree with anything with Stel. I hate this. Listen, I want to disagree with him, but nail on the head. Right. Nail on the head.
Levy, fans.
Yeah, I know you got to go. Love, dude. Love. Take care. Everyone.
Big up, panel.
Hotspur Cave.
Big up.
Cheers, bro.
I watched influencers in the last 2 weeks do videos how Pape Sarr works in Frank's system, how he can make Spurs elite. I sit there thinking, who are these people making these videos? Anyway, right. So Levy, the fans, the next one, the manager. I've said I'm going to give him a year because I know when you come to Spurs, it's different. It's different at this club. It does things to managers. Managers crumble at this club. We destroy managers. I want to see if Frank can work under this ownership in this club where fans from 1 minute think you're the best, next minute they want you out. Today, Frank got it wrong, right? He's going to get it wrong. He's not the GOAT. People say the professor. He wasn't the professor today. He's got to learn what club he's joined, and he's going to need a year to suss it out, and then hopefully things can change next summer and they back him and let's see what he's got. But today, for me, look, Areola doubled up on the wings. He put two players either side to shut down the flanks because he identified that Spurs, all their attacks are from the flanks. They've got nothing in the middle. So he shut down the corridors, meaning he forced Spurs inside. Spurs had nothing inside. Their pressing game was superb. They hunted in packs. They shut us down. We didn't have a clue. And for me, it was clear that we were too pragmatic in the game. He should have been more offensive. And the last 15 minutes, it looked to me like we were playing 4-2-4. And you know what? We were asking questions. We were challenging them. Bournemouth looked like they might concede. Frank should have done that much earlier. I don't agree with all of his substitutions. I think he got some of them wrong. And, you know, today was the first time Frank, pre-season Super Cup Premier League, he went 1-0 down in a game. So rather than having the lead and then managing the game, which he's proven to be good at, today he was asked the question, what do you do when you're 1-0 down? He didn't know what to do. But it's one game, so I'm not getting caught up in that. Let's see what happens when we go 1-0 down to Fulham or 1-0 down to Brighton, what happens then. That's Frank. And finally, the last thing. These players, guys, they're not good enough for what we want, right? I know Ange got bashed for being 17th, and yes, we should never finish 17th. We should never. But if we're going to compete in all competitions, forget top 10. We had a whole week to prepare today. We look knackered. What's going to happen when we play twice a week? We're going to fall apart, guys. We're going to literally collapse from exhaustion. We can't handle one game a week. So I think...
Stel, look at this bench. Stel, look at this bench. This is Stel, and to all of you in the chat, this is the bench that Spurs can put out, and there are... hang on, let me get this right. There are 42 hours and 4 minutes to go of a window. Now, I'm not being flippant when I say that, but still, with 42 hours left of a window, that, other than Xavi Simons and Solanke, if you really want to, I think he's crap as well, that is what we have gone into a season with for 4 competitions in the Champions League.
Listen, for the Premier League, the Champions League, and the FA Cup, for me, Tell, Gray, Bergvall on 50-50, Solomon, I don't know. Odebert, Davies aren't good enough. The only ones there I'd 100% keep are Kinski, Danzo, and Udogie. The only ones. 100% reconviction.
Agreed.
So you know, look, Levy needs to take some blame. Frank needs to take some blame. The players shouldn't be at the club, some of them, quite a few of them. And the fans, we've got to stop getting all hyped up so easily and just let things play out, which is what I've said from day one. I'm going to let this play out and judge it as we go along, because I'm not convinced that Levy has fully got it yet. He's showing signs that he has, but I'm not convinced. Frank, and listen, I agree with Box Office on this one. Frank needs to prove himself to me, but I'm giving him a year just to show progress, not to win show me progress. And the players, my God, man, my God, they aren't the level we think they are. They really are. And Sava's right. When Simmons plays for Spurs, and he starts linking up with Kudus, you're going to see what good players look like. And I hope others raise their game around him. I do think today as well, though, some players played below their level. Some players underperformed today as well.
Can I just say, before I bring in, I want to bring in Lubo, because I see he's itching to talk, right? Do you know what? In all the years we've been streaming, I can't make you wrong on any of that. Like, any of that. I think that is absolutely, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, nail on the head. There isn't even any of that I go, just that bang on. The worrying thing for me, Stel, is every week, these players that people like me and you don't rate, we still have half the fan base that want to find a way to say, oh, but they are good enough if they do this. And if you put Johnson here, and if you see Tell here, look, have a look. Like, I'll bring Lubo in as I call him out. Right? I love calling Lubo.
Saba, can I just add one thing quickly to what you said, though? What we can't do, though, as well, and listen, everyone here is guilty of it. It can't be when we play really well in games. Oh, look at Frank, look how he's developed, look at tactics. But then when we lose, we blame it all on the players.
No.
Frank has to take some responsibility here.
I agree. I will judge him the same as Ange.
Is it not consistency over capability, though?
Hang on, let me just finish off. We'll come to that.
He gets to hear from me, Big Ben. He gets.
This is what I wanted to ask Benji. This is what I wanted to ask Stel and Lubo from my point of view. This is the thing, right? What we do is we pick moments when a player's good and judge them by moments. Now, whether that moment is 5 seconds in a game or whether it's 3 games out of 50 moments, whatever that means to you, we do this every year with all the same players, right? Every year, all the same players. We never, ever say, you know what? Show me, and to Benji's point, show me consistently that you are a good player, right? All of them. I'm putting Romero in that bracket as well, right? All of them.
Especially him.
Show me consistently, week in, week out, that you are there. What we have is we have lots of fans, and this is where I always dig Lubo out, is Romero will have a blinder like he did against City, and we go, for our captain, this is why he's world class. Then he has games like today and against Burnley, right?
He's overrated.
Richarlison. Hang on, let me finish. Richarlison scores a blinder against Burnley. We forget that he's done fuck all for 3 years, and we go, this is the year. Some of you are in that WhatsApp group with me. Some of you might have been in that WhatsApp. I know Danny is. The WhatsApp group where I'm being called out because Richarlison scores an overhead kick. You're in the mud, Sava. He's going to get 25 if he plays this every game this season. Brennan Johnson. Yeah, but he scores goals, so he's good. Sure. And what about the games where he doesn't? Right, Papa Sarr, exactly the same. I've said this all along. Papa Sarr's been at Tottenham for 4 years, right? Granted, the first year was on loan. Why has he not broken into the team and become a main central midfielder in the 3 years he's played for Tottenham if he's that good? Maybe because he's not that good. Maybe because he's inconsistent. But this is what we do, and we're about to do it, chaps. Sorry for the rant. We're about to do what we do with everybody, with Tell, with Odeber, with Sarr, with Gray, with Bergvall. We put them there before they've done anything, and then everybody gets this little cult following so that when people turn around and go, let's move them on, people go, no, but with this manager, he'll come good. Chelsea, City, right? Liverpool, they go, you've had a year, you've had 18 months, it's not worked. See you later. Consistency is everything, to Benji's point. Consistency.
So the thing is today, though, right? Like there's 3 things for me Frank did that I couldn't understand what he was doing. Right? He gets the benefit of the doubt. I'll give him time. It took him until the 70th minute to make an adjustment to try and stop Semedo, where Bournemouth for the whole game had 2 players on Kudus to shut him down. Why could we not have done that? To the 70th minute it took him. Romero today got caught up high a lot, but when I watched the game, we actually play quite high up. There's a lot of times in games we are high up as a team, including the centre backs. It's not Ange ball, but it's kind of touching the realms of it at time. The height of the centre backs being so high up the pitch, and the other thing is, people said, look, Frank will bring stability. He'll make us hard to beat, and so far that's true. But today, we got cut open for fun, man. Like literally sliced open for fun. And he didn't adapt it. And I thought, come on, Frank, what are we doing
that's what
here?
I was annoyed about.
But again, look, again, it's one game. I'm saying it as it is. If this happens every week, we've got a problem. But it's one game. So I'm not angry by it. It's just observation.
The one thing I'd add to that picture that you put up where you said, look at the subs. That picture you said, look at this is our sub bench. For me, I'll double down on that and go, look at half of those players in the first team shouldn't be good enough for the bench. I genuinely, like for me, players like Johnson, I wouldn't care if he wasn't on the bench. Players like Sarr, I said it all last season. Yeah, he's had a couple of good games. am I like, yeah, he's got to be on the bench, game changer? No, I'm not.
But you know what? The difficult thing is for me, and it really is more of a question than a statement, is if we're able to do what we've done against Manchester City, and PSG, is it really that these players aren't capable rather than simply just massively inconsistent? So Stel, you made a point earlier about them being incapable. I'm not 100% on board with that because, again, what we've done to these two...
were asleep for 65 minutes. Once they woke up, it was backs to the wall, man. They had us pinned in. We were getting ripped.
Yeah.
Isn't it what I said about moments? They can range you. Every player can have 2 good games. Every player can have a great game. Every player like Richarlison grabs a worldy finish every now and then. But our fans take that one moment, Benji, and we go, this is that player's level. Look at the chat. I can show you. Look at the chat we had on the Spurs 5, Stel and Luvo, right? Look at that chat we had the day after Burnley, or the 2 days after Burnley. Look at the waffle that was spoken about Richarlison. Look at the waffle because he scored a worldie. Oh, he's been brilliant against PSG. He scored in the last games when what are we doing?
I remember that in the WhatsApp server.
Saying that should be a striker for Tottenham Hotspur.
Mate, do you know what? You know what frustrated me today, guys, more than anything? Bar anything else, what frustrated me the most watching, other than being bored shitless watching it? When we did our predictions on Thursday, I said we'll win 3-1. And my reason was Bournemouth have lost their 3 best centre-backs, right? And we saw it against Liverpool. Sure. Go at that defence, they crumble. And I thought, what kind of defence are they going to have? When we don't even properly test that back line, and we don't even our attack was incapable, and midfield was incapable of feeding the attack to test a very weak defence. They kept it. How the fuck are Bournemouth keeping a clean sheet against Spurs at our ground when they've lost their 3 best defenders? That for me was the most frustrating thing of all today.
And still, when Adam Smith went off injured, that was a completely brand new back 4.
Other than Senesi.
That's what I mean. We didn't test it. I don't remember their goalie.
No, but Senesi wasn't first choice because Zabani and Houston were the centre backs, weren't they?
Yeah, but one of them had a big injury last season, and Senesi played a lot. But yes, you're right. You're right.
But with that, this is what I was saying earlier. Like for me, the biggest failure of that today was the fact that Brennan Johnson and Richarlison's movement is shocking. It really there was again, sometimes when you're there you see more than they show you on the TV, but Romero had the ball 3 or 4 times and he had time and he looked, it's almost like he was waiting for Richarlison to make that just a little diagonal run in behind.
Yeah.
And never. And if he would have done that once, in my opinion, the defenders would have gone, let me check now. I'm going to keep checking because he's made that run. And then it opens up space. But he literally stood in front of the defender for 90 minutes and allowed the defender to win every bounce, every drop ball, every header. He did not win anything. And for me, when you have players like that are not prepared to break the lines, you're never going to be successful. Even with Kudus, the last 10 minutes we upped our game. Name me one time someone played Kudus through, or Kudus didn't beat 3 men to start an attack. Every time we got the ball, Kudus was to beat 3 men.
Kudus was knackered. He was carrying the team creativity-wise. Kudus looked fucked in the last 10 minutes.
Spence was knackered as well. 2 things on that,
Absolutely. Yeah, Spence was knackered.
Firstly, I thought Diakite had a superb game as a centre-back.
It's not hard though when you're marking a cone.
Bournemouth played well as a team as well, though. Bournemouth as a team played really well.
They were very good.
He won everything, didn't he? He won.
Fair play to Bournemouth.
That was a great, as Iriola will look at that and think, do you know what? That's what I want from my centre backs every game. He won everything. He smothered him. He destroyed him. He had him in his pocket.
But you can't say that because he's not going to play Richarlison every week.
No.
The guy allowed him to win everything.
James, as a centre back, I watched him and I thought, Jesus, this is a good. He's having a good game today.
Yeah, but it's easy when you're playing one of the worst strikers I've ever seen at White Hart Lane.
I'm not saying he didn't have a good game, but what I'm saying is when you're marking one of those yellow cones, it's not hard to not get the better of it.
Richarlison goes to ground way too easy as well, man.
All the time.
Like, way too easy.
The other thing also to point out, look at those diagonal runs that Evan Nilsson was making time after time after time.
Yeah, true.
So I said, if we made one of them, it would have made them think, but we didn't. The whole time he stood in front of the defender. The friend that is, if you're in League Two and your striker stands in front of you, I expect you to beat that man That's what they're trained week in, week out. Win this header, beat the man, strength, beat your man, strength.
Yeah.
Richarlison just said, you know what, I'm going to stand there all game, mate, and you do whatever you want. It was ridiculous.
He
as
was
a fan,
atrocious, James.
He was.
Atrocious.
So, as a fan, having seen the previous 3 games and Simmons' transfer yesterday, went to the game really pumped up, really looking forward to it. You know, thinking, do you know what? You know, I predicted 2-0, but I did say and I know you agree with me, Sav. I did say on your show a couple of months ago that I felt that between now and Christmas, it's going to be up and down with Frank.
Yeah, sure.
The results will be up and down.
Lubo, isn't the biggest worry that a lot of this big issue, though, is how many of us have sat here all summer and said Spurs need to buy attackers, right? Spurs need to buy attackers. Spurs have not replaced Son. Spurs have not replaced Maddison's goals. Spurs have not replaced Kulu for his injury. Now, you get Xavi Simons, amazing. I will not knock that in any way. But we get Xavi Simons when the season has started, right? So now you've had 3 games. A game like today, that's where you want your goals and your creativity. We haven't got any.
Well,
so
that's
when
where
people
we missed Maddison, didn't we? Terribly today.
So when people say, don't matter as long as it happens before the window shuts, today is an example of why that is the biggest BS statement ever. Because games like today, a Newcastle fan said it earlier. I was watching a podcast just now. A Newcastle fan said it about Newcastle. Said, we've not actually played bad in any of the 3 games they've played. He said, but us not having a striker for any of those 3 games could be the difference between us getting Champions League football at the end of the season and not. Because already Newcastle now have drawn 2 and lost 1, but played well in every game. So we've had all summer to be going into games like this with the creativity, with your new attackers, with your goal scorers. And as a club, we've decided that Richie and Solanke is what we want to go into a season with. Half the fan base accept it, right? The other half are like, what are we doing here? This is ridiculous. We've had 5 weeks, 4.5 weeks to replace Son. 4.5 weeks. Look at all these big clubs.
3 months.
Okay.
3 months to replace Son.
Sure. If they knew he was going, it's 3 months. If not, from the moment he left, you had 4.5, 5 weeks. And this is where Stel is right. A proper club that care, they go out and they land that Sonny replacement. They've got it. First of all, a proper club has got it lined up, right? Correct. Secondly, a proper club within the week, boom, here's that left winger, and we all go, Son's been replaced, right? This is the difference. For me, this is the only reason. I'm not taking anything away from Frank today. Got it wrong. Managers get it wrong. But what I am saying is when people in my chat were saying, and sorry for the vent, I'm so frustrated tonight. People in my chat were going, oh, he got that sub wrong and that sub wrong. And, oh, I can't believe he bought on Tel and Odegaard. And I'm looking and going, who's he bringing on? Who are you bringing on? Tel and Odegaard, I don't rate either of them. They are the forward options. Who are you bringing on? Should have bought on Solomon. Really? Like, is this where we're at, guys, as a fan base? Who should come on first? Tel, Solomon, or Odegaard?
And that is why I feel, again, he's limited with what he could bring on. So instead of having to necessarily bring on those players, change the bloody formation. Then you haven't
got 2 forwards to play 3-5-2, Dan.
We can use Kudus as a holding man for it. I think he could do the job for a game.
He was done, man. He was so tired at the end. The last thing he wanted to go.
I'm just trying to give different options. Our biggest problem was Porro getting called out all the time. Yeah, I can only look at something and try and fix it in my own head. Yeah.
Listen, the last 10 minutes, we won the front foot. We should have. I think Frank should have just adapted it earlier on and just gone for it.
Yeah.
He took too long to take the risk
because we ain't got players to change it necessarily, even though you need to bring the players on. But when it's definitely going that wrong, I think Danzo should have come on for bloody Johnson. I mean, because Johnson was absolute dog shit today and just showed again what he is, and that is a terrible, terrible player. but he does score a couple of goals. But this is why people can't stand him half the time, because when he doesn't score a goal, he does absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing. And I thought if we would have gone with a 3 at the back, call it 5, we could have got some control of the game with 3 in midfield, then start pressing forward with the overlapping wing backs, then get your centre man coming forward to link up to the 2, or play it 2 attacking midfielders, 1 striker, whatever. We just needed to get some control of that game before we done anything else, in my opinion. And we had no control whatsoever, even though we had more of the bloody ball.
Can I ask a question to everybody? Really, is for me personally, I think the most important position that we sign now, if we can only get one more player, I think it has to be a striker. Because reason being is, I think Dominic Solanke and Richarlison are so samey. Not one of them makes a run in behind. Not one of them wants to go toe to toe with a centre back and have like a Chris Wood. Chris Wood is standing there and fight his ground in a man for man battle. We've got no one runs in behind. For me, this is just me picking the best of a bad situation. I would rather Richarlison turn into a left winger than be a striker. I think he's better out wide than he is up front. And I'd rather spend the money on a proper striker, a Wisser, someone that you know is going to cause problems.
Love Wisser.
Someone like that for me.
Thomas Frank came out and said that he's not.
I know.
He doesn't want another striker.
No, I know. But
this is going to Newcastle as well.
Still, I think all bets are off now after today's performance. I think
what I would say is I'm glad that Xavi signed yesterday.
I think that sorry?
What I would say is I'm glad Xavi signed yesterday and went to the game today and not signed today after the game, because it ain't happening.
He must
be enjoying his cup of coffee.
I've got one hell of a job to do here on my own to create.
So Levy in. He done it right. He done it the day early.
Do you know what? I think honestly, guys, the most important player we need, it really is a left-sided wide man. Because Kudus didn't have his best game, but I felt today like the whole weight of the team was on his shoulders in the attacking third. I felt it was just everything had to go through him, and there's only so much. And he got doubled up on. They did a good job on him. But
like we should have did to theirs.
Now we got Xavi Simons in the 10. You're thinking, right? Are we better off with a striker, or are we better off with another wide player? I think we probably are better off with another wide player that can score goals.
I disagree.
Simmons has actually played on the left.
Because James, that left side's dead. It's absolutely.
No, I agree.
Champions League football team, shouldn't we be doing fucking both?
Yeah, we
like,
should.
But
not going to, are we? We're after a defender.
No, but this is what's ridiculous about it, guys. A proper team right now, a proper football club is going out and going, right, let's use Wisser, for example. Right, Wisser, we know you want to leave. You've played for Thomas Frank before. Right, what do you want, Brentford? Do you want 45 million? Bang. Sorry, Lookman. What do you want for Lookman or whoever it is? Boom. A proper club in the next 14.
Put the money on the table, innit?
Well, Dan, when there's 2 days of the transfer window to go, that's
what you got to do.
That's all the transfer negotiation can be. But right now, that's what Spurs should be doing. Because imagine Spurs went and got Lookman and Wisser. Now all of a sudden you've got Kudus, Simmons, Lookman, Wisser. Now, all of a sudden, who's sitting here talking about lack of goals, lack of creativity, lack of technical ability? No one.
What I want to ask you, Phil, is obviously if we can only get the one player, like you're saying, left forward is what you would prioritise.
Yeah.
So you would rather go into the season with someone like, or not rather, because no one would, but Dominic Solanke and Richarlison. I personally would rather have Simmons on the left, a Bergvall, Cam with Kudus right, and a striker. I would rather have Bergvall in the squad than I would a Richarlison.
Do you know what I would do, James? I'll tell you what I would do. I would play 2 up top with a false 9, Brennan Johnson being one of them. Because Johnson's not going to do anything on the left. It's a waste of time. Because he can score. And today, again, Johnson doesn't score. No one else does. Nobody else scores. Nobody. So I would get... Listen, it might not work. I'm just saying we've got to try something different. We've got to use what we've got and hope something lands. I would play him up top with another striker and sacrifice a midfielder and play
as
the
an
10.
old school Heskey and Owen, basically.
Not as good as those two, but yeah.
No, obviously it's an example. You need someone
I
next
get
to him
it.
who's got a bit of muscle, don't you? Like a target man,
Just-
and then just have Johnson as your little poacher.
I think
Fellas, can I-
Johnson anyway.
This isn't, by the way, this isn't what I want for Tottenham going forward. But I'm thinking we're not going to sign a striker. We might get left winger. So what do you do then? Like James, I don't actually disagree with you, James. I'm just being realistic with what we're going to sign. It looks like we're going to sign a defender, and if we're lucky, a left wide man. If we're lucky, that's what it looks
Other
like.
things still. We
What
need
about do you
a
think
10
a
and a
Paqueta
left winger.
or do you think a Paqueta or the guy from Villa? Do you think that changes the season completely?
We should
We
be
need,
going for
we need a
Lookman.
left winger, man. We've got that left
Still.
wing create nothing.
If we got
What do
Paqueta,
you
couldn't
think-
Simmons go left?
Great from the flanks.
If we
What do
couldn't
you
Simmons
think
go
that
left
he's
if we
been
got
bought
Paqueta?
for?
You could put Simmons left if you brought in a Paqueta in the middle.
Yeah, that's
Simmons
what I'm
has
saying,
actually
yeah.
played more on the left than he has in attacking
Okay,
midfield,
guys, do that
and
then,
he's
do
scored
that.
just as many.
Listen,
That's what I'm asking.
I'm happy
What was
with
he
that.
bought for? Is he bought as a 10? Because I don't see us getting both. We never usually do, even though we have to. So if he's bought for one or the other, what do you think he's actually bought more for? A number 10 or a left wing? Because he's actually played on the left wing
He's coming to 10. I think he's coming to 10.
than he has a 10, and he scored
I've been calling him for
the
ages.
same amount on that one, just as he has on that one as such. That's the question like I was asking
Dan,
on my channel
I
this
think
morning.
he comes in.
What are we
think-
actually getting him for?
I think he's here as a 10 because Pape Sarr's not a 10. I don't care what anyone says. He's not a 10.
I don't know what he is still.
Bergvall,
But then we can get a 10 still,
But
and then we can
Bergvall-
stick him out on the left.
but Bergvall, full of energy, got intensity, puts in the tackle. He doesn't create. So I think as it stands now, you look at this team, and if we don't sign Paqueta or someone like that, then Simmons has to be the 10. Because at least they might not be good, but Odebert and Johnson, they can play on the left, especially Odebert.
I
There's
think
nothing in the 10 at the club. We don't, there's
Still,
nothing,
I think you'll see a few players coming in on Monday. I really do.
I hope so. We need
After
them.
that,
Otherwise,
honestly,
Another
Champions
one
League's
we
gonna
could
be
do
fucking
still.
painful.
I really
Go
do.
get-
think-
go
I
out
think
there and go
there'll be
Lookman.
some players coming in Monday.
Go
Fellas,
out there,
can
get
I
Lookman,
ask-
use him as the 10, and then go stick Simmons on the left. Because, like, checked up on that, he does everything on the left the same as he does in the midfield. So we have got an option of either buying a 10 or buying a left wing still, because Simmons can cover both.
See,
No,
I
I'm
would
saying
Why
this, though.
buy Mitoma? I've said it so many times. Why can't we just go and buy Mitoma? He's such
You know,
a good player.
He was terrible last season. I'm sure I checked
I-
up the stats.
Mitoma.
I've seen.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
seen-
sure.
My stats though, don't you, Benji? This is the problem. Matoma
No,
ripped Spurs
it
to
was-
pieces.
No, I know that, but
Twice.
it was his percentiles I looked at last season. It was nowhere near compared to some of the people we've been looking at. But look,
Ben,
I wanted to
he's
ask a really,
level
really.
above Odebert and Johnson level.
That's no, fair enough. But he'd be so expensive, and I don't think we'd stretch
Right now,
for that.
you won't-
Anyone's going to
you
be
won't get him
expensive now.
No, yeah, fair enough. But look,
Well,
I
he won't
wanted
be expensive now. Brighton will not let him go. There are 40. There are 42 hours of a transfer window left.
no, you're right. Look,
If you rock up to Brighton and say there's 70 million, they're going to go, what are we going to do with 70 million right now with 2 days? With 2 days to go in a transfer window.
no, it's true. Look, fellas, I wanted to.
You get 2 months ago.
So
No, I'm with you.
Brighton always have a succession plan. Always.